The mission of Special Chronicles is giving respect and a voice to people with special needs. And to podcast, our vision is podcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective. So this November will be 7 years of podcasting. And I started this as a way to practice skills in producing the show, in interviewing, talking about stories, interests such as photography, faith, life, talking with my friends, and basically celebrating the abilities that we're able to accomplish. I've had, I can't keep talking about the guests now, but I've had hundreds of guests on the show. One guest, a friend of mine, Brent Campbell, who lives up in northern Illinois, he competed at the USA Games. I had him as a guest last May of 2014 on the podcast, which is an online radio show. And after his first appearance was on Special Chronicles, after that, he went on to compete at the USA Games for Special Olympics in New Jersey. He went on to have interviews on Fox News and newspapers, and now, later this year, he's going to be trained at Russell University. He's giving speeches now, and he told me it's because of his interview, of his appearance on Special Chronicles, that it helped him to prepare for these other accomplishments in his life. And so I created this as a platform, both just to have my voice to be heard, have a way to advocate and continue to advocate. But it's what it's transformed into is all the voices of all of us, people who have special needs. And I use the term special needs because disability has a lot of misconceptions to it. It's something that we can't do. And so that's why I prefer using the term special needs or diff-ability, meaning different abilities. And so I started recording audio of speeches I was giving as a Google Messenger. That's why I have a mic on today. And now slowly getting to video. So that's why you see the video camera here. And I started hearing from listeners across the globe. We have listeners in over 85 countries. Over the past couple of years, over 22,000 listeners, about 900 a month. And I heard listeners through email, through Twitter, through Facebook, and even face-to-face that this is what listeners want to hear. It's important that those of us who especially tell our voices heard, because we bring a value to humanity. We bring a value to storytelling and having our stories told. The mission has evolved somewhat since the beginning, almost 7 years ago. Podcasting a message of respect. It's evolved into what it is today, which is still included respect talk, but also giving voice to people with special needs. The term special related to the special needs, disability, and then chronicles, meaning a collection of our stories or a journal. Many of our special needs stories you may see told through video, but I found, and I do produce some video, but I found that there was a unique craft in being able to tell stories through audio, because in an interview and talk radio format, because people can really focus on hearing our stories and abilities, and it's some of the guests I have on, it may be hard to understand that, or even sometimes me as the host or producer, it's even sometimes hard for the listeners to even understand me as well, but we're still able to have this platform. And so the format of the show is an intro, feature talk. We talk about news and the special needs community, reviews. I just saw a private screening a couple weeks ago in a new movie called Where Hope Grows. And it comes the theaters May 15th of this year, and it stars the first actor with Down syndrome to star on a feature-length movie. And I had the chance to have the writer, director, Chris, and the actor on the show last fall. I just got a chance to see a private screening and a word review, and both a written review on specialchronicles.com as well as on the podcast that will hopefully be published either tonight or tomorrow. I'm kind of back long, had a busy start to the week. But that movie we're hopeful is you can find it on the news feed on specialchronicles.com. You can read or listen. I got an email back from the producer in the beginning of this week, and he said I got some facts wrong of how I kind of interpreted some of the scenes, but at least I got an email back from a producer in Hollywood. So I've heard from lots of listeners. I'll give you a short sample of what some listeners have said. And this I actually produced in Dr. Yoon's my last semester here in her Intuitive Media Production class. Yeah,
Introduction to Media Culture.
Yeah, I did that. So here's a short sample.
Daniel was victimized. That's how it is. He is 3 1/3 months early. Very prematurely. So when he was born, he was very, very sick.
Most many things that he do a lot better than I do. Does he understand his technology?
The thing that I like to point out about what Daniel talks about is that Daniel's taking something that some people might consider to be a problem, being born very early, being born very small, having a lot of medical problems as a tiny baby, and has taken the gifts that God's given him and done unbelievable things.
For the past 2 years, I've heard you progress as a communicator through some challenges. That you would choose audio as a medium and journalism as a medium, and you're getting quite adept at communicating using the audio medium and interviewing, and I'm inspired by that.
Special Chronicles. It can be found at www.specialchronicles.com. I know from listening to previous episodes that he always has a good message.
633849137.
Just finishing up editing the show. If you want to come in the Ustream and chat. So he was, he's at his house and he's like, fixing some things here and there or whatever. And it's just the two of us in the chat room.
I mean, for those who didn't understand why you hear all those sounds, the assignment itself, which I don't do the assignment anymore, is students had list of different audio files that they need to use different audio files in the video. So that was the assignment. So that's why you hear the baby sound and all those Star Trek sounds. So
yeah, I didn't have any choice with this.
Right.
I was kind of involved, but I kind of do some of it just for fun. And so some of those videos, those audio, you were one guy from Canada and one listener. And a few other ones. That some of the pictures were from old design of the website. And last year we had a redesign. A friend I met at a conference helped me with the redesign and potential new hosting of Solar Move that we're working on currently. Potentially, we're still kind of going through some talks right now. I was going to try to show you the attached to the website, but I can show you that later. I don't know how many of you guys know, or if you watch CBS 2 News, you in Chicago. Bob Johnson, who angles the news on weekdays. Well, anyways, he featured me on his Yo Chicago segment right after I graduated. And he is a big supporter. I've known him for many years through Special Olympics. And actually today is his birthday. And so I don't know, so I tweeted this morning, so I don't know if he might listen to this, but maybe since we'll be coding video, if you guys want to just say happy birthday to the camera.
Happy birthday!
Oh, make sure he sees that. and so here's a message from
Hi, this is Rob Johnson from CBS 2. I just wanted to say that Dan Smrokowski is doing great work with Special Chronicles. I've known him for many years at various Special Olympics events, and I also had the good fortune earlier in 2013, earlier this year, to interview him for my segment, Your Chicago, all the great work he did at the Roosevelt University radio station. So I just want to say Dan is doing a great job. He's reaching out and telling stories about people not with disabilities, but people with ability. And that's the most important thing. So Dan, keep up the good work. And I can't say enough about the great work of Dan Smrokowski in Special Chronicles.
I don't know if you heard that little voice at the end. I believe that was his son. And if you want to listen, well, email that story on CBS2. It's linked on specialchronicles.com/Rob Johnson CBS2. Rob also came to my house beginning of last year for an unplugged interview. It's kind of small, but you can kind of see that picture of him like before he went to play hockey. And then there was also last March, I invited a couple of my friends who have autism, and he gave us a tour of CBS2. I took some pictures that are on my Flickr page, but they're private, because I took some of his desk when he was in the makeup room. But what is publicly on the, as I say, the digital airwaves is there's a 20-minute, I forgot the episode number, but if you go to specialchronicles.com/Rob Johnson CBS2, it was a 20-minute sound scene audio tour of the CBS2 broadcast center that's just right down the street from where we are now. So if you guys want to kind of get a behind-the-scenes look through audio, you can, it's informative, and you can also witness through audio when I fall off the ankle chair. So at Special Chronicles,
I'm sorry, then are you going to show like you in CBS News later? I think this is a perfect time.
Yeah, I can do that.
If you didn't plan on like showing that.
I didn't plan, but yeah, I can show that. Fine. I didn't pull it up here, but I can pull it up. While this is loading, I'll get to. It's pretty fast. So, and the clip is just two minutes from CBS 2. I probably could just Google it, but at least this will show you the website as well. You can't really do mobile, but those some pictures on the donate. There. You kind of see that I'm on the far right there, but my friend Georgia, a good friend of mine, then another friend of mine from Special Olympics, Matthew, he's one of the youngest global messenger speakers of Special Olympics. He actually, Matthew was all the way left there. He just went to Los Angeles this past month for the Special Olympics business meeting with the CEO of Special Olympics International. So that's impressive. Let's see. This This picture here is a selfie with Rob. A friend of mine that you can hear an audio clip from, Dwee, she's the one who kind of photobombed that selfie there. And then this picture is with Rob in studio. Broadcast partnerships, disabilities, and here it is. And then that picture, that last one you saw there was actually a radio station, that I used to manage and work. Well, I was in there a lot of consolation. So there's probably going to be an ad, as I think everyone's used to. Yeah, it should be.
Please choose a sponsored video. Your content will begin shortly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I won't put you guys through there. Let it begin. And now we're going to have to count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 2, 1.
Daniel Smrokowski has been a fixture on the radio at Roosevelt University in Chicago for roughly 4 years. But his tenure there is now coming to a close because he's graduating. But along the way, Dan has touched countless lives as he pursues his message of inclusion for people with disabilities. And he is tonight's Your Chicago.
And today is the final live broadcast of the
WRBC Radio is Daniel Smrokowski's life.
You want to be inspired, you want to be uplifted.
He started off as an engineer there several years ago, then began hosting a Christian music show, even rising to become station manager at the student radio station.
There was about 2 or 3 of us that were all managed together, but then everybody ended up looking to me to take the lead.
You're listening to the Special Chronicles podcast.
But all along, his passion has been Special Chronicles. First a podcast, then syndicated on WRBC, now a blog.
So everybody,
Then to uplift, inspire, and educate others about people with disabilities.
I want to be able to tell those stories, and then in telling those stories, the viewers will have a greater acceptance and greater inclusion of all people.
That's because Dan has a disability. Born 3 months premature, he has a learning disability and speech disorder. But that has never stopped Dan in the radio booth or in the classroom at Roosevelt University.
The LD is a invisible disability, and then the speech disorder that I have is a visible disability. And even that, if my eyes
Dan has opened the eyes of many, like Chris Ditto, who attended both Westmont High and Roosevelt University with Dan, and is now his successor as WRBC station manager. How has his journey here impacted other students, do you think?
He walks into a room, people go, oh, that's Dan. They know who he is, just because he touches everyone.
He's also made a huge impact on his teachers, like Tyra Robertson, getting them to rethink how they view others.
You know, the classic thing, judging a book by its cover and thinking someone can only do what you've perceived them to do based on how they appear or speak.
Before graduating 3 weeks ago, Dan won the school's Social Justice Award and is a Special Olympics Global Messenger.
I want to be able to really tell stories and not look at that disability as a barrier or as a label.
Dan now wants to turn Special Chronicles into an audio, video, and print program telling the stories of Special Olympics athletes. He also told me he'd like to work in our web department here, but I told Dan he's got a greater calling.
I think what it's going to say is if you want to find more about Special Chronicles, you can go on to CBS, but I'm just going to say go directly to specialchronicles.com. So let's see. That's my friend Georgia from last night.